Good, good.
So you're back at UCF.
Back at UCF, back home. Back home.
How's it been?
Where it all started. It's been good. The guys are working hard. Got a long way to go with them. You know, inexperienced group. Some guys have really showed that they can help us. Some guys we're still trying to figure out, you know, if they're going to be able to help us this year. But we're pushing hard and grinding them every day. You know, Coach Frost is going to get the maximum out of the offense and really the whole team. And we're excited. Every day we come out trying to get better.
Sharon, what's the one thing that stands out about this group, the group that you have?
They're faster than I initially thought. They understand that they need to be pushed a little bit more, but they've taken some really good coaching so far. I really like the passion they have. Every day they show up with bright eyes and they ask good questions. You know, sometimes you get guys in there just ask questions just to ask them. We got a lot of stuff we're trying to do offensively, trying to figure out what we want to do with this bunch. You know, so it's kind of a process, but they're taking it in every day. Things change on them, and they make the adjustment really quick.
Coach, what's it like working with Coach Frost this time around? Can you see any differences in the way he approaches the field now?
Well, the maturity of it, I can see. He's learned. Obviously, he's gotten older. He's experienced a lot, you know, at other places, particularly the NFL. He had that itch about himself getting back with the Rams and trying to incorporate some of the stuff he's done here at UCF, Oregon, you know, also at the Rams that he saw a little bit of stuff there. So we're trying to put all that stuff together, and I can see the growth of him as a coach. And actually, every year I've been around him, I've seen him grow every year, even the years at Nebraska, you know, even the years away from him when he was out of it, and then when he was with the Rams, we stayed in contact, and you can see the growth in him with everything that he's done with himself.
Coach, who are some of the younger guys that jumped off the page early?
Well, I really like all the young guys that were here last year. Richardson has shown some things. A walk-on kid, Caleb Rollerson, has shown some promise. Bridgewater that was here. Those guys I kind of been around a little bit last year. Some of the guys that I've seen that just got here that are new was really has taken off as Day Farmer. I'm really excited about him, and you know, DJ Black and Dwayne Thomas. You throw all those guys, Marcus Burke in a basket. Those new guys just got here from the transport portal. I'm really excited about there. Those guys have had their great days, and then some days they kind of look like, well, we got some more work to do. So that's the process. We got a lot of offensive stuff that we're trying to figure out with them. Everything's new to everybody, so I'm not concerned at all.
Tell us more about DJ Black. He might have the most experience from where he's been before. Just what kind of receiver is he? What are his strengths?
Well, right now I'm still trying to figure out how he rolls. You know, I got to press him a little bit more on some of the things that I'm trying to get accomplished with him, sinking his hips. He's a long strider. He's fast. Everybody knows he's fast. So I don't really spend as much time with him with his vertical stuff. I'm just trying to get him to concentrate a little bit more, getting in and out of breaks, create some separation there. But he's gotten better as in the first 5 days. Yeah, it reminds me of when I was a DB coach here, when I had all those young DBs with Boyer and Kamal Ishmael and Clayton Gathers. And, you know, all those guys they were our best players, so they had to play. You know, so we ended up grinding them up at the corner and the safety spot and put them in tough situations in fall camp. And then first 3 games was kind of and then as they figured it out, rest is history. Those guys played, and a lot of those guys had good careers here and played in the NFL. We're gonna find the best guys out of that group, and then the only way they can get better is actually doing it. And once we get into a situation where we have more team or more scrimmage stuff, get the feel of that, and I think we'll see those guys progress really well. Well, right now we're trying to push them to learn everything that we want in our offensive scheme, and then like last 2 days we've shown them a little bit of red zone, what we want to do there, and then a little bit of third down situations. And then as we progress, we're gonna put them in situations where they gotta roll for 8, 9, 10 play sets. So we're gonna figure out who can really grind through, who can push mentally through the 5th, 6th play and fight through a little bit of fatigue and figure out what we got to do offensively in the offensive schemes and defensive schemes.
What's it like having a clean? I mean, this is almost like a clean slate for you. You know,
Yeah.
but you don't have like 2 or 3 guys who've been there and experience. You come in with this clean slate. Does that kind of help you maybe get fresh? That you don't have to necessarily cater to certain guys. You could just say we're all on the same page right now, starting this.
Right, and that's the thing that we say pretty much every day. Right now, we have a group that coach doesn't want us to change. They're starting, but they know we're competing every single day. I keep a chart on catches, how many drops. I keep a chart on effort. I keep a chart on loafs. I keep a chart on what I call 2-yard rule, blocking a guy for 2 yards. You know, when the ball's being snapped and downfield, and you know, right now they're competing every single day, and they know, you know, there's a standard that I'm trying to uphold, and I'm trying to figure those guys out as a coaching staff. We all are, and then myself, I'm trying to figure out. They're trying to figure out how I coach. You know, so sometimes I get on them and come into meetings, they laughing and joking, and then sometimes I got an attitude about me. You know, so those guys are trying to figure me out, and I'm trying to figure those guys out. You know, as a coach and an educator, I've always tried to get to know the kids first, especially if they're new, and try to figure out what's the best way to coach them. And thus far, those guys are responding well for them.
Coach, you mentioned a standard. Talk about the philosophy and mindset that you're trying to get these guys, and how can they reach that standard throughout spring?
The standard for me is always be accountable in everything that you do, detail in everything you do, on and off the field. Every rep, go as hard as you can go. Even if you don't know or not sure with it, go hard. And the standard is the standard, and the kids know it now. And we come in a meeting, and the kid makes a mistake. Most of the time, they've already said, "Coach, I already made." Before I even address the mistake, they've already know it's coming. So that's the attitude I want those guys to have. Understand what their responsibility is within this building, within this program, and every single play, what their responsibility is on every single play. It's all encompassing to me. Understanding it's a whole process, academics, what we do off the field, what we putting in our body, fuel-wise, how much rest we getting, what we doing in study hall, and the whole nine.
Successful offenses have to have, the receivers have to have cohesion with the quarterbacks. How is that coming along in the spring enough to build that?
Yeah, we're throwing with those guys more than I've ever thrown with the receivers quarterbacks combination, also with the tight ends. You know, we've done that in years past with Coach Frost. This year, because we got so many good quarterbacks that we're trying to work through, we're spending a lot. It's taken away from our indies a little bit, but we're trying to get some cohesiveness with all the quarterbacks, and we're rotating groups so the quarterbacks get a chance to experience some of the other receivers, tight ends, running backs. You know, so that's been a little bit of a process that I hadn't been around, but I can see why we're doing it, because we're still trying to figure out what the quarterback situation is, and also receiver situation and tight ends. I think it's going really good. We started out doing it day one and have picked up on it. You know, we've actually added a little bit more to it every single day we go out there, and I think that's helping us.
I think we're supposed to talk to Dwayne Thomas after
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about Dwayne. I know you played in Charlotte last couple of years from Miami. Is he kind of like a slot option, or what kind of receiver are you seeing out of Dwayne Thomas?
Right now, so far, he's probably been one of my most consistent guys. I'm really, really happy that he's here. He's really been a spark plug, you know, for our room. He's always got that high energy, passionate about himself. What we're going to do right now, we got him playing a little bit of a slot. We can eventually move him around where he can play outside, which I'm doing a little bit with him this week, where he's playing outside at Z and X. So I told him, you're a slot right now, but I'm gonna have to put you in some situations outside to get you the ball there too. But he's been really, really good. I'm excited to continue to work with him.
Coach, you're talking about Dwayne and your 2-yard rule and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of the phrase "no block, no rock."
No block, no rock.
I know that was prominent in your previous stuff. Is that something that's still happening here in practice?
Yeah, no block, no rock. One of my first clips I showed those guys when I got here was the Fiesta Bowl game where Rennell Hall, Speedy Hall, and Josh Reese and J.J. Warden and Odom and all those guys with Bashard Perriman blocking downfield to really, really take that game over. I said, this is the mentality we have in this receiver room. We're gonna bring that back. You know, thus far I've seen it, not where I want it yet. Obviously, you know, we're still young in the spring, but they're getting to understand what I want on every single play. And you know, today We took a little bit of a step back, but I told those guys I'm proud of them. They're working their tail off. You know, I got them. I really got them where I want you right now. So on Saturday, I need to have a little bit more effort in what we're trying to get done, paying a little bit more attention to detail.
Where's Burdell Richardson, his development? I know he kind of made a splash when he arrived last spring, but just with the depth chart and what it was, he didn't play this past season. What are you seeing out of Burdell now?
I've been on Burdell since last year about playing harder. He's starting to show a little bit. Once he figures out that he can go at a faster clip, he has that monotone tempo that he tries to play with, and I'm on him every single day. He's probably got the best hands out of the group, so hopefully he continues to progress. Right now, I told him yesterday's meeting that I was proud of how much he's taken to coaching, and he just said yes, sir. And I'm excited to see where he's going to end up here at the end of the spring. Right now he's making some plays out there. It's kind of caught Coach Frost's eye. I just got to keep him going forward and understanding he's got to play every single rep like his hair is on fire. Wade Charles has done extremely well. I'm really excited about how well he's picked up the game. He's been faster than I thought he would be. Watching him on tape, pleasant, understands everything. He's one of those guys I was talking about questions. He asks great questions on everything he's doing. And then Carl Jenkins is very similar. They're both carbon copies. Those guys are going to be the future of this program at the receiver spot. It's just whether those guys, how quick they can pick up and understand all the volume of the offensive scheme of things. But Wade Charles has done extremely well, and Carl Jenkins, their length, both of those guys' length really, really impressed me, and then their speed has been faster than I thought they would be watching them on tape.
Not much UCF experience in this wide receiver room. But have you seen any emerging leaders, guys being more vocal, guys telling people where to be come out of these practices?
Yeah, the one came is Dwayne Thomas has been more of a leader. He's one that's kind of accepted that role a little bit. Marcus Burke has probably played the most. Him and DJ Black, but I can see Dwayne Thomas has been a guy that's really been more vocal. Everything that we're doing, meeting wise on the field. And, Marcus, he just got that personality. He's kind of like me, one of those quiet leaders when I played. And then same thing with DJ, one of those quiet leaders. But when you hear from him, the rest of those guys straighten up. So which is good.
All right, thanks,
All
everyone.
right, thank you guys.